Welcome back to Get With The Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler. Wolverine. Hey, fun fact. My son wanted to know the origin of Captain America yesterday. And I was like, well, let's watch this movie right here.
While you get your questions answered, I can do 2 hours of work.
Oh, it was great. Actually, no, I didn't do anything. I just sat there and watched it with him. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. That's awesome.
Dad, who is that? I was like, well, that's the Red Skull. He's like, why is the Red Skull? I was like, you'll see. He's like, but where? I was like, just wait. Why is he a bad guy?
Yeah, that is really cool on a couple of aspects because one, you're Captain America, but two, the fact that your son is going, Dad, what is the origin of Captain America?
Dad, where did Captain America come from? I'm like, oh, I've been waiting for
like,
this moment.
Books have all dropped. I'm taking a day off today. Computer closes.
It'd be like one of your kids coming in and is like, hey, who's this Darth Vader guy and why is he such an asshole? You're like,
let's
start in the right order.
Let's talk. Let's close all the drapes. TV is now on. Let's just get this in theater mode right now.
Oh, man. Well, hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday, midday hump day. Get With The Programming podcast. Stefan, Zombie, Corey, Melanie, Renata. Hello, everyone. Hello.
That's some good people. You know what? I'm a little nervous because they knew we were going to be talking about Wodapalooza and the programming, and there's only a handful of people in here. I'm kind of nervous if they were wondering what we were going to say.
True.
Where the fuck are all you guys?
True. They'll be coming in. It's
we talk about the open. This is like everyone does this one too.
Yeah. It's qualifier season, everyone.
That's right.
It's on us. We just finished Rogue. We know who's going there. Wodapalooza. That just closed up for the individuals.
Right.
The individuals. They still have teams. That will be, what is it, a couple weeks? I can't remember.
Yeah.
All scores are due. All scores are due. And what's up, Blade? But Bill and I are going to go through the qualifier programming. There's been a lot of talk out there in different outlets that, is it a mixed bag or is it a one-way street?
Dude, honestly, I'm feeling like it's a one-way street.
It does feel like a one-way street. We'll go down our own path. We'll look at these, analyze as we always do, and as we have always done. And I think before, the number one thing whenever analyzing programming, and this goes for anybody out there that wants to do the same thing, this isn't rocket science. We have our own process of this. Everybody has their own take, their opinions. We look at it through our own lens, to be fair, right? This isn't this is how it's supposed to be done, but there is a process of maybe this is how it's supposed to be done.
This is how it's supposed to be done. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just trying
This is the programming show, bro. We tell them what they did or didn't do.
And we're still waiting for them to freaking ask if it was good before they release these things to the public. And this isn't just it's Wodapalooza. This is just anybody.
It's like we're going to be talking about you guys.
Chase, you got something growing on your face. I know. I can never have a Bill beard. Mine just doesn't fill in like that. But I just haven't shaved yet.
Good man. It's all right.
I can't shape it. It's weird.
You gotta get some thickness.
Right, it's gotta go out and then
it will.
You gotta let the hedge overgrow and then you trim down the hedge into whatever shape you want it to be.
There you go.
I got it. But before anyone analyzes any programming, if you guys want to do this on your own, the first thing you have to do is to set the foundation of what the purpose of the event is for, whether it's a competition, locally, the CrossFit Games, or an online qualifier. The question that needs to be answered first is, what are we testing for? The second is, who is taking the test? That's another part, because when you look at something like we talked about last quarterfinals, we know the test was to get people to semifinals, but we also have to remember 10% of the world that signed up for the Open could also qualify this. So you have to cater a little bit to your demographic a little when it comes to what you're programming for. So these are the two really big baselines we want to go dive into. And I think the third one, especially for Wodapalooza, and I would be curious of your thoughts on this, is they have, we're going to talk elite versions, but there's an elite RX in open. Is that what?
It's like a community. Yeah, like a community.
But it's a one leaderboard, and based on where you fall on that leaderboard is the category that you go in.
Right.
Personally, I actually really like this because then you get away from people registering for the RX division when they should be trying to go for elite and just like rec shop there. Or they sign up for the intermediate division and they're an RX athlete and they just rec shop there, and vice versa, right? You get away from that. And it's basically just where you fall on the leaderboard is the category which you go into based off the slots that they have open.
Which is crazy because there have been some big names in CrossFit. Guy Meyeros is one of those names, he won the RX division. And then next year, and then next year he was at the CrossFit Games, So, I mean, you're going to see some names in there. And I think that that's a great way to do it. But when you do it that way, if that is going to be your leaderboard and that's how you are advancing people in, now the programming of the events that you are doing become extremely important because of what you're doing with that. A lot of times when you have your elite level, and then you have your RX level, then you have your intermediates or whatever that might be. You cater the movements and the workouts to that particular realm of athlete. This doesn't have that. Now, granted, you can, depending if it's age group or if it's masters, they'll make some distinguishing characteristics and changes there, modifications there. But generally speaking, you are now kind of looking at you think of it like your general classroom. You have your general class where you're supposed to be programming for the best and then scaling for the rest. But here you're programming for the best, so the best are able to move on appropriately.
Right.
And then the rest of the athletes, okay, it's like, okay, well, you missed something somewhere. You didn't have the strength. You didn't have the skill, the high, the volume capacity. You didn't have something. And that's what kept you out of the elite level competition. So it becomes, I think, very, very particular. And, going back to what you're talking about, like the purposes of your programming, it's very, very important not just to think we're trying to test the fitness of our athletes. It's like saying, I'm just trying to be happy, whatever the hell that means. It sounds good, but it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? You can't say, I need to just pick some hard workouts. We need to pick some hard events for these athletes. We're trying to find the fittest. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're trying to get a whole shit ton of people to get to Wodapalooza, where at Wodapalooza, you're going to have 9 gazillion different categories of people that you want to have the right people there. So it is not it's something that just can't be considered as we just want to have a good time. We want to just enjoy fitness, and those things are cop-out answers. I think it's very important for whoever's programming at whatever sort of competition to really understand what they're qualifying people to go do, so you get the right people. And what's the breadth of what's that net going to be looking like? Who are you trying to bring into that? So it can get rough.
Before we get into the programming, Nate Johnson just bought my tickets today. That's right. Tickets for Wodapalooza are on sale now. And I believe, if I heard Dylan correctly on the Savan podcast, is if you want tickets to the big stages, you better buy them now, because it's going to be very selective seating, I believe, this year. I think some of the big things, a good problem to have is crowds.
Oh, yeah.
And lines to get into the bleachers. I don't think they're going to have as many access tickets to Flagler stage and Bayside. I think there's going to be a very strict number of tickets. So if you guys got your email for Wodapalooza, if not, go to Wodapalooza.com. Go get your tickets now, because if you want to see the Flagler stage, I think there's a strict number of tickets that they're going to sell that you can only watch from the stands. It's not an open seating this year. I may be talking out of school, but I believe that's the case this year, is how they're going to manage that crowd control.
Well, I know that was a big issue last year. There were people paying a lot of money to get in, and they couldn't get a seat. So they want to make sure that the people at least are getting, they're getting what they paid for, which is good.
Yeah. So go get your tickets. The tickets are on sale now. Go. Let's see. Look, people are helping us out. Nate Johnson. Price goes up later if you buy 2. You have to buy the elite level tickets if you want to see the pros. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So tickets are on sale for Wodapalooza now. If you've never been, go.
Oh, dude,
if you've never been, go. There's nothing like it. It's awesome.
It is so fun. Good. And I mean, the games is the games, but Wodapalooza is what they have done with the way that they've grown that thing out, and just the fanfare of the whole deal, the whole weekend. I mean, you're never going to see, other than at the games, a vendor village like that one that thrives where you're cruising through Vendor Village and you have the big names also cruising through Vendor Village at the same time,
Yep.
where you get to rub shoulders with the names of cross. It's great. You have to go.
If you guys are watching this on YouTube, tickets are on sale now. You guys can go to Wodapalooza.com/Miami tickets. If you're here with us, we'll drop the link in the chat. Obviously, we want to support our friends over there at Wodapalooza. They've done such an amazing job over the year. We've had the honor to be a part of that in many different ways, usually with their very first broadcast back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as, or as recent as last year, with the individuals and the teams. And yes, Jeffrey, the prices are crazy, and pick which one you want, but go out there and get it. Now, as far as getting into the event itself from the competition side, that's where we're going to spend most of our time today. We talked about a one side or a one leaderboard for 3 different divisions when we look at the Elite RX category, and this is what we're talking about specifically. So if you look at this is just the men, but on their leaderboard, if you go down to 20th for their online qualifier, that's for the elite division. So the online qualifier will qualify 20 elite individuals out of their qualifier. I don't think that discounts maybe invites they could do personally to other athletes. I believe that is something.
Yeah, they usually have that. Yeah.
And we'll do that. But 20 out of the qualifier. And below that, you're now in the RX division, and they take the next 20 for the RX division. So 20 for the elite, 20 for RX, and 20 for RX is just spots 21 through 40. And a name that is being talked about is Royce Dunn is 39th. Yeah. Royce Dunn is a multiple CrossFit Games athlete who is probably one of the fitter people in the entire field, and he finished 39th on this leaderboard. We'll try to answer the question of how that happened. And then below spot 40, 41, all the way down to, it's still going. Is it still going? Is that it?
I think that's where
it's just the
right.
RX. Okay, sorry. Because this is Elite RX division. All right. So if you took the Elite RX qualifier test, top 20, go Elite, 21 through 40, go to RX. So that is what we'll be talking about today. It's the same for the men as it's the same for the women. All right, let's start with workout number 1 for the elites, and it is a 15-minute AMRAP, a rep scheme of 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 of front squats, lateral burpees over the bar, and toes to bar. The weights will increase each round. 95, 135, 155, 185, 225, 65, 95, 105, 125, 145. You can get help with your weight changes, which I think is huge for this. Huge for this, because if you had to do these yourself at this time frame, at these amount of transitions as the reps get smaller, you'd be wasting all of your time changing on a barbell, and we're not testing fitness anymore. We're just testing how well your plates slide onto a barbell and how easy it is to get your clips off. So you got squats, increasing weight, you've got lateral burpees, and you have toes to bar. Nothing changes on the other two, just the weights on the bar. And I should say is once you get to 2, you basically change your weights all back and you start over at 10 again.
Start right back at 10 again and work your way down. Where do I want to go with this? Okay, test 1. And we have to think about who we're trying to test. Huh?
Look at you.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Test.
Yeah. Event 1. Well, because I was thinking, what are we testing? What are we trying to test?
Yes, there you go.
The idea is, who are we trying to get to move to Wodapalooza? Who is going to present themselves in the elite division and the RX division? 2 front squats at 225 pounds or 145 pounds.
Okay.
That's wrong. These weights are wrong. I like the idea of the setup. I like the 8, 6, 4, 2 idea. I think that's cool. Mm-hmm. I do not think that this front squat weights are appropriate for what you're trying to test. Like, to me, this looks like something you would do in the open. And I don't think the open is trying to find a top 10% or whatever to get to like the quarterfinals. So you still have this massive this is trying to get 20 people into the elite division and 20 people into the into the RX division.
Okay.
And I just don't feel that those weights are going to be doing that, because now what happens is these weights are really low for athletes that are very good, and they're going to be moving very fast. We talk about this a lot of times. If you're looking at, like, Fran is a great workout, cool. But the reason it's not good for elite level athletes is it's too light for them. So now they are literally pulling the bar back down, which is the same thing that you're going to see in this. And this is one of those things. I mean, in our text, we saw John Young on here doing his, and he was moving so fast that, like, the 95 pounds, he didn't stand up all the way. And he himself came to us and, our group, and was like, "Hey, does this look okay?" And it was like, nope.
It's not a product. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Well,
You're on a great path right now.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I just think that again, depending what you're trying to test, I think that it just really it makes the athletes that have fitness and have strength. It now becomes, are you going to slow down to make the reps count? It didn't work. So that was the first part with the front squats. The weights are wrong. Like, I would have gone up to 275 for the squats.
Okay.
The other thing is going to be the toes to bar. Like, if you look at the athletes that won on the men and the women's side, they basically went through this 3 times plus some. And that's only
reps. It's 30. It's 90.
Right. It's going to end up being 90
reps around.
So they're doing like 100 toes to bar in 15 minutes. Okay. Like, the only just that I think the number on there was wrong, because it becomes insignificant, completely insignificant for these athletes. I like the idea of the setup. I just think that the numbers were way off for what we're trying to test.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
I want to bookmark what you said at the very beginning, is that this looks like more of an open workout than it does an elite workout. And what is important to understand there is that these workouts are programmed to find the elite and RX only. They're only taking 20 elite. They're only taking 20 RX. This is not supposed to be a community event workout, because they have a division for that separately. This isn't like the open, where you have to program a workout for 150,000 men and 150,000 women, and you have to be able to test both appropriately. This is only for elite.
Right.
Only for RX.
Like, putting 95 and 65 pounds on elite level athletes, I might as well have them do air squats.
Do you think this would have just been better with one weight? And what would that weight be?
For the elite level? Yeah, totally. I mean, like, you could have done
like 185.
That would have been way better. I mean, I still think that for that level of, I mean,
until you get to round 3. But here's the thing, and you're saying it right, is like, at these weights and these rep schemes, like 185 for 4 reps.
Right. Right.
Here's what I like to put. I'm at the age and fitness level now of a shell of my former shell, which I got a reminder today. Thanks, Brian, friend. If I can walk out there and do this thing right now.
Yeah, dude, totally. That's how I am.
Not right.
Like, I'm saying, if I only have to do 2 reps at 225,
I can do that.
Like, I'll hop into this. I'll bust this thing out. Cool. I got that. Because, like, honestly, for me, where I would be able to recover is on the burpees.
Ooh. Yeah.
I mean,
and the transitions, like, yeah, it's a lot of transitions. 6-4-2 of burpees and toes to bar. At the length too. I mean, really, the 15 minutes isn't forcing you to go fast either.
No, not at all.
If it was 10 minutes, that's different. But then all the weight changes, like, that becomes a part of it, because you have to have fast transitions.
I think when I was messing with it, I was looking at like if they wanted a lightweight, I was just on the guy side, and we do the women's version of this. But I just said, okay, if we were keeping it how it was, I double the toes to bar, on every single one. So it'd be 20, 16, 12, 8, 4. And the weights would be 105, 155, 205, 245, 275.
Wait a second. Oh.
To make them
Is that
count.
really it? Hold on.
No, that's what I said that I would do.
No, I'm reading Tyler's workout. So, okay. Let me go to event description. So a whole thing?
Is that a...
I don't think so. I mean, maybe it is. Did you do it? Here, there's one way to figure this out.
Oh, ask John. Oh, we're going to do that
Let's
too.
go to the event description. Workout starts round 1 of 10 front squats, lateral burpees to the bar, round 1 weight. 8 front squats, round 1 weight. 6. Oh.
Oh, wow. I read it wrong then too.
Yeah. Thank you, Tyler. I don't even know if I like that even more.
No, I don't at all.
Well, if that's the case, nobody got to the last 2 bars.
No. Because they only went through it they got into the 4th one.
Yeah.
That's
the
dumb.
highest
No,
score.
that's even honestly, dude, that's even worse. That's worse.
That's even worse.
That's worse.
Oh man.
Like that threw it into even a less than the open workout. Less than the open on that one, dude. That's lower than the open level.
So
workout.
you went 10 all the way to 2 with
95 pounds.
And then 10 all the way to with 135, 10 all the way to 2 with. So they only got to the best people
got in the 185.
Only got to the 185 bar or the 125 bar. No one touched the last round.
I like the way we thought it was better.
Yeah. Golly.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, that helps with my transition issue, so I can take that off the table at least. What are we doing?
Okay, yes. So as of right now, we have not tested to see if we're going to get the elite levels at the top 20 big names to compete with big names, or the top 20 to compete with big names. No.
Oh. Okay.
No.
Okay.
And I want to know if that's the case, like who tested that? You know what I mean? Like if I mean, I would assume it would be like Noah and and like that group, but like
I think their video was Sasha Nieves that did it.
Okay, did nobody get to round 5?
I mean, it looked like she got. Well, let's see. Men, Austin Hatfield, 319, which is 3.5 rounds. So he was in the 4th round. For the women, 344, which is still in the 4th round. And Rebecca Fuselier got second by 1 rep. Okay.
Sorry.
Man.
One out.
We got it wrong. Thank you guys for letting us know. I definitely read that wrong.
So did I, and I read it twice. I feel bad for the other athletes out there. They're trying.
So a whole round testing for elite athletes with 95 pounds on the bar. And then 135. Ooh.
Yep. Let me ask you this. What do you feel would be a better test, Fran or this? Because I feel like they're virtually the same. I mean, obviously the time frames are different, but you know what I'm talking about with the level of people that you're trying to test. You know what I mean?
We'll get to our Fran workout.
No, that's true. That is true.
Oh man.
Okay, swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Next.
Guys, come on. I'm trying here. Okay. Okay.
Wow. Swing and a miss. Okay, next.
All right.
Batter up. Here we go.
Let me get this one right. All divisions. All right. So we go from that to workout number 2. In a 5-minute window, establish a 1 rep max unbroken complex, which isn't 1 rep, but it's 3. 1 snatch followed by 2 hang snatches, but the tiebreaker is on your heaviest lift. Once you finish your 2 hang snatches, is that you do as many overhead squats as you can at that. I like this. I like the not 1 rep max, even though they call it a 1 rep max. I like them using snatch from the floor, 2 hang snatches, and then max overhead squats as a tiebreaker. 5 minutes. More than an actual 1 rep max, say, single lift.
Thank goodness they did it this way, is all I have to say. I'm so tired, dude, of seeing every single event have a 1 rep max or a 1 rep max clean. Every single one. We don't need to do it every single time. You have to mix it up to show other versions of strength.
Mm-hmm.
And I think here they do that. You have your snatch, you got your 2 hangs. I mean, we've done that at the regional level where you had to do the 3 hang snatch to see what you could pull on that. That was one of the regional ones back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I like that because it's different. It's a different level of fitness, but it still shows strength.
Yep.
And it allows, I think, a little bit more of a fitness competition rather than just the same big kids getting the same lift and then getting their workout or their event that they always get. So
Yep.
it does that. I do think that the tiebreak is interesting. All these athletes are going to have a better overhead squat than they are a snatch. So if they can get it up overhead, they're probably going to be able to hit it. But it's like, now how much time do you have to decide to do that? And it was interesting looking through the scores to see how many people did whatever. It was almost like it would be kind of in your best interest to do 1 or 2 on every single one that you hit. So whatever you hit, just also do 2 on top. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But what was weird, so I like the event. I think it's great. Like this right here was like, good job, guys. Okay, strength part, cool. One of the things Wodapalooza I think does really well consistently is they usually put a pretty decent complex in their qualifier.
Okay.
So I like the fact that they do that. I like the fact they did that here. Although I do think it's odd that they made a big deal about you can only use 1 pound plates as the lowest plate. And if you are using kilos, you either have to round up or round down. And the winner of the men has a 0.5. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah. I also don't know how he's on the leaderboard because he didn't do all the workouts.
That wasn't a thing, I guess. I don't know.
I just don't. And this isn't a Wodapalooza thing. This isn't any
competition
thing. Is if you don't submit a score for everything,
you're out.
You should not have You should not have any effect on the leaderboard.
No.
0. And imagine how important that would have been during the rogue qualifier.
Right.
When people are getting separated by 1 point. And you have people in there that are walking in to do a lift and then don't do anything else the rest of the week.
Yeah, totally. You're either in the competition or you're not.
Yeah. You're not 3/4 of the way in. If you don't submit a score or you don't get more than a minimum work requirement or you get more than a DNF, you are removed from the leaderboard completely and you should have no effect on the outcome of this competition because you didn't take the test.
Right.
Especially in online qualifiers when hundreds of people are signing up.
And it's so important at that point because, I mean, you're right. The numbers are so high. And to go in there and just throw a wrench into the works like that, I mean, cool, it makes you feel good, but it literally jacks up the competition. And that could keep people from actually getting to the actual competition in Wodapalooza based on one person going, well, I think I just want to do this lift.
Yeah.
No, like, you're out, man. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even count. So I know that's one of the things that Wodapalooza has had issues with in the past is the way the scoring system is set up to where that becomes an effect on the leaderboard. So now it's not your events that you have set up, and it's not the performances that people put into that to actually get themselves and qualify themselves to the real competition. It ends up being these weird nuances of people just kind of jacking up the system. And you hope now, not that you make it in, that you're high enough so that you have some buffer against that line for someone that's going to go in there and throw a wrench into the system.
Yep.
So, I mean, just for the competitions need to take that into consideration because what are they trying to do? They want a good competition to qualify these people to get to their main show.
And mainly what we're saying is for online competition.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
well, I mean, most people are going to go to a regular competition and
injuries or
you're there.
But you're there. You made it.
Right.
Yeah, here, different story. 100%. I mean, we see that as an issue all the time. All the time. All right. Overall for workout 2, 1 snatch, 2
1 and
hang,
1.
max overhead squats. Love
We're
it.
1 and 1 right now.
I like that we went from front squats to an overhead squat to a high volume repetition of, barbell cycling at light weight to, gymnastics in and over the bar. Good movement selection combo there. We're outside of weight choices and format and basically everything else. But then you have this heavy lift off the tail end of that. And remember, this was 3 of these workouts were released week 1, and then 2 were released in week 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, moving on to workout number 3. Again, we're just looking at the Elite RX division. It is 15, 20, 25. Now, if I get this right, because we got workout 1 wrong, it's you go through the whole round of 15, rest a minute.
Right.
A whole round of 20, rest a minute, and a whole round of 25, rest a minute. Cal row, drum roll please. Wall balls at 20 and 14 to 10 feet.
Great job, guys.
Great job.
Great
guys.
job. You
Great
did it.
job. 2 thumbs up. Chest to bar pull-ups, box jump overs at 30 and 24, and then alternating dumbbell snatch where a lift with the right and the left equals 1. I will say good job again, because now it's not ending with an odd number on one arm. So it's not 15, 20, 25. It's 1, 1, 2, 2. So that balances out. So whatever problems I had with workout 1, you totally redeemed yourself in workout 2. And what I like about workout 2 is you got the cow row and wall balls. And you're like, okay, big boys. Like, yeah, that's fine. Chest to bar pull-ups, all right, not so much. Box jump overs, which is a difference than just a box jump.
Right.
You can stay low, you can go quick. A little bit higher jump for shorter athletes. And the dumbbell snatches, it's only 50 and it's only 35. But we saw how effective that could be at the games level with Helena, right? You got drive pull with the row, squat press with the wall ball, gymnastics pull in the middle, jump explosiveness on the box, and then hinge pull with the dumbbell snatch. And then you're increasing in reps. 1 minute break is enough to just kick you in the balls before the next one starts, and that round's going to be harder than the round before.
Well, and the setup it looks, when I saw it, I was like, oh, fight gone bad. Okay. But you have 5 movements and then you have a 1 minute rest. That being said, I like the stuff, the things that they put in there. That's cool. I wish they would have put the row at the end. As always, we see the row put in the beginning all the time, but if you look at Fight Gone Bad, the row is at the end.
Okay, fair.
And so
just flip the snatches and the
right,
because snatch going in the wall ball. Ooh,
right.
Ooh,
yeah. See what I mean? So like you split up your tall athlete, shorter athlete movements a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you want calories on that row, you need to work for them a lot harder now. With it being at the end, or the time frame anyway, at the end, than you do with it being in the front. I think that everyone is going to end up pacing it a little bit more on the front end rather than on the back end, because they know they have the 1 minute rest. So you can really empty the tank more on that.
Buy-in now.
Right. And again, that's for what the event is. I like the event. I like the event.
Yeah.
I think that it comes down to when you have the right left equaling 1 rep on the dumbbell snatch, I think that it really becomes a dumbbell snatch event for the most part.
Yep.
The volume is I think okay. I think it could be more, or I think if you were to make these athletes do a 70, it would be fine. Again, elite level athletes, and they could do that unbroken. Because I look at a 53, like I would do all of those unbroken.
30 snatches, 40 snatches, 50 snatches is what it really is.
Right.
30, 40, 50.
Right.
I think 50, I have no problem with 50 and 35.
Right. That's what I mean. So like,
I thought you were saying
I think it should be, I think it should be, again, who are we trying to test as we're trying to move on this one?
I get that.
And I'm like,
volume makes up for the weight.
I think that volume. I don't think it's that aggressive. I look at the 50. Me, I'm the old guy, dude.
Yeah.
I would be in the 55 division, and I look at that and go, okay, no worries. Elite, dude. I'm not even remotely in the realm of like elite level athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Even the RX level athletes, like not the ones that are at Wodapalooza nowadays. You know what I mean? And I would want the dumbbell snatch to make the chest to bar matter a little bit more. Like 15, 20, 25. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
Well, I do. You're a
I
big
mean, you could go heavier, but I don't like. You don't need to. I get it, they're elite, but like you just programmed 120 of these things. It doesn't have to be 70 and 50. It's 120. You can, but we don't have to. Especially when you put it at the end.
They've had masters events that are doing 100 straight.
So?
Masters events.
It doesn't matter.
Elite level we're testing for.
Yeah.
Elite level.
They had it at the CrossFit Games. It's the most elite thing you can do. And there was only 63 of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's double here. It's okay.
I still think it should be heavier. I think it should be heavier, and I think the cowbell should be at the end. Other than that, I think it's awesome. I mean, I'm not giving it a thumbs down because of that. I'm saying that's what I would change.
No. You're just giving like
I like what it is.
Feedback.
But I think we're making it. I think when you look at this, what's the event? What's the piece that you see when you look at this? When you just look at it, like what's the element that sticks out?
The increasing reps.
Obviously, I'm talking about the movements.
Oh.
Snatch.
I think the snatch is weighted heavier than anything else in here.
Right. As far as like
reps.
It becomes the dumbbell snatch, right?
Right. And so I think it's double the reps. It doesn't need to be twice the weight.
Well, it's not twice the weight. It'd only be 20
What
pounds
you're
more.
suggesting.
What I'm suggesting is if it's a dumbbell snatch,
mm-hmm.
It's now so light that we have these high level athletes that are all going to be able to move that at about the same speed. So I want something that's going to force your chest to bar pull-ups to suck a little bit more, which just means you got to hold on to the dumbbell a little bit more. That's all I'm saying.
I get it.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying that this was not event number 1.
Yeah.
By any means.
What you had to do to get there also needs to go into play. Like
you had a week.
True. I don't mean like the totality of the events combined. But like cal row, wall ball, 15, 15, whatever. Pull-ups, like these are all just minor fatigue elements. The box jumps is probably going to tax you more than any of these 3. And then jump into 30 dumbbell snatches for the first round, right? And then it's more reps and more like, I don't mind. I have no problem.
That's okay. That's all right.
I would, although I'm 100% on board of flipping the snatch in the row.
Okay.
For evil's sake.
Well, again, like what my guiding light when I'm thinking your top 20 people that are going to be going against the big names of CrossFit that are invited to the CrossFit Games. This isn't supposed to annihilate anybody, but I think it will separate the field a little bit more is what I'm saying. And again, like,
well, yes,
these are all like
that will happen. If you
100%.
70, yes, you are correct.
Well, and why are we going to need that? Because we're going to look at some of the other events that are coming up. I'm just saying. That's just me. So I would flip the row in the dumbbell snatch. I would go heavier. Doesn't mean you have to. That's just me. That's all right.
Top 10 times for men, 14, 25, 27, 38, 48, 49. So tight. So 14, 25 to 1505 were your top 10 times for the men. For the women, it was 1503 to 1612. So a bigger separation. Just over a minute from first to 10th for the women. On the men's side is about 30 seconds. And that's a product of doing the same number of cals on the row, making them go to the appropriate height target for a wall ball shot that they're probably not used to, but should be if you consider yourself an athlete at all.
You know what's pretty crazy is like the time frames on that. Even with the 1 minute rest, you're looking at like a 4, 5, and a 6. Mm-hmm. Or a 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, as you make your way through that. It's kind of interesting. About a minute difference when you add the 5 reps on everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that is on those. So we did a row, wall ball, pull up. Just writing these down.
Yeah.
Box jump, and a dumbbell snatch. All right, those were the first 3 workouts of week 1. We'll go to the the next week. They released 2 of them. And the 4th one that we're going to talk about is really the one that broke the analyzing internet for a lot of people across the board. And it was 4-time, break it up however you want, 45 deadlifts at 225 and 155, 45 handstand push-ups, 7-minute cap. It's Diane. Diane's 21-15-9, which is 45 reps of each. And they tried to get cute and just say, choose your own adventure, do as you shall do. And when looking at this, you talked about for workout 1, what would be a better test, the way it's set up now or just doing Fran? Well, here's your Fran, right? And you said this specifically is you have to make sure that what we program, and he doubled down on this on workout 3.
Yes, I did.
Is appropriately weighted for the people you are testing and the event that you are qualifying for. And we are talking about the elite individual specifically. And you have a workout that with your top times, we're taking around 90 seconds to not even 2 minutes for hundreds of athletes with weights and movements that are too light and too easy with elite athletes. If this was the open, meh. All right, we programmed Diane in the open plus a little sum. We've done that before.
Yeah.
But you have set yourself up for range of motion failure because of the ease of this workout and the ease of the individual movements. And now, and it's the same thing you talked about when like John sent us his video about this, like he was just crushing this, but it's so light and it's so easy, and these athletes are so fit at the top, is that now you have to start making decisions of skirting the line just to stay competitive because other people are either doing it or their size advantage on you is insurmountable.
It would have been a much better workout if they did the open version and changed that and made
a heavy walking Diane.
Right. If they would have done 45, 45, and then 45, whatever the distance is on the handstand walk for the heavy one, at least that way it would have been something to kind of have a little bit of separation. There's just, I mean, you miss 3 seconds on this because of a rep and you lose 15 positions.
Right.
You know, it's just, I understand. I get it. I think this is a cool classroom workout, but a qualifying event for your elite level, trying to help separate your elite level athletes and your RX level athletes, which are some very, very, very high level athletes. You are relying now on hundredths of a second, one, and then an absolute judging nightmare because the events, the movements are too easy, and you will be rushing all of those movements just trying to stay in the game because everyone knows that it's going to be fast.
Right.
Everybody knows it's going to be fast. So I mean, what if they would have done? What if they would have doubled it, like 90 and 90?
Better. We did 100 in bar facing burpees in the open.
That's right.
Better.
I mean, there's got to be something. I mean, you have a 7-minute time cap, and people are finishing in under 2 minutes.
100, like, yeah.
Like the 7-minute time. Like, what happened on that one?
I don't know.
That's like this is one where it's like who. I understand your community feel, the festival of fitness, but this is where like you get. I feel like it got lost in that instead of what you're trying to do qualifying wise.
Right.
This isn't the community aspect.
This is the intermediate division workout.
Oh, man.
At best.
Yeah.
It's not for the elites. It's too easy.
Like the videos that we saw of people doing it, they would come off of here and be like, "Wow, that was cool. Okay, what are we doing now today? What's my
Right.
training look like?" Like it was a
And
warm up.
yeah,
It was
and not like
nothing.
a qualifier needs to crush you to be a good workout, but it has to be.
There's zero separation.
Yeah.
It's a all this does is it puts the athletes in a very precarious position because now they have no option but to skirt the line as tight as they can, which will always put athletes on the other end of the line. As far as like bad
Puts
reps,
everybody in a bad
one,
position.
it
The
makes your
athletes and
judges
coaches
have to do it and jack them up, and then it makes your online video judges for Wodapalooza. It makes Wodapalooza themselves, puts them in a bad position because now if they let anything go, like they now
Mhm.
are having to adjust not just a couple submissions, but all of them. Like
Right.
every single one, you're going to have to do it. And it's like, then now how do you do it? Do you
Yeah.
count the rep? Do you do time? Do you add time? Do you give a penalty, like percentage wise? That just makes it hard for everybody. And so like everybody loses on this because they're trying to do a cute version of Diane. And that's the unfortunate element of that. It's just, it really puts everyone involved in a bad position.
Including the programmers.
No, 100%. Everybody.
Lito said, what if, okay, this is what I was thinking, and I'm glad she put it in there. Good job. Same workout, same reps, 275 and 185 and strict handstand push-ups.
Way better.
It's still fast.
Yeah.
It's still aggressive. But with strict handstand push-ups and like 45 reps, 275, like nobody is doing this game. It's like, well, I'm going to go 30 deadlifts, all 45 handstand push-ups unbroken, 20 deadlifts. Like,
yeah,
it's not happening, right? It's going to get heavy. It'll be slower. You have to worry about blowing up. Like no one's blowing up with 45 kipping handstand push-ups. Nobody.
No.
You will with strict, or make it a wall facing. That's the new trend these days. Even I'm not like on board in that camp, but if we're going to test the elite division and go off of things like have been programmed as of the last year and a half, 45 deadlifts at 275 and 185 and 45 wall facing handstand push-ups. They're in the rogue qualifier. They're at semifinals. They're in quarterfinals. And you want to stay on that trend. Now we have some massive separation with some strength, stamina, and some skill. And it'll still take
good job.
3 to 4 minutes, right?
Yeah. I mean, if this was supposed to be your fast one, do that, but you got to make it count.
Yeah.
That would count. That would definitely make it, because now there was no one that transitioned. There was no one that broke up the 45 and the 45. Nobody. Even with Danny Spiegel saying, I wouldn't do that. Every single athlete up there was going to do it. So that would have definitely helped. Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. And these people that signed up to compete in the elite in RX division should be able to do all of that within a 7-minute time frame. And the ones that are the fastest, which will probably take 3 to 4 minutes, there'll be enough separation, and like that's going to hit way harder than this.
Yeah.
This is an intermediate or scaled. This is an intermediate or scaled division workout. The thing that we're trying to say is that everybody signed up for this division and this division only. There's other programmed workouts for intermediate and scaled. RB, you're right. Huntington Beach next year, which I'm so pumped.
Me too.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Okay. Let me pull up this. Just a perspective. This is workout 4. What is this? The women. 125, the winning time. And then 127, right? Was the 127 because they were slower or they locked their arms out better? or not as much to this 131 to the 132, or a tie at 135, 136, 137, 137, 137, 138, 130. Like, come on. Is that what you want to sift through? On the men, 128, 33, 34, 36, 36, 36, 37, 37, 37, 39, 39, 39. Is that what we want? 130, what was the fastest time? 128, 128. Let's just say we went a minute. Let's just say you went 30 seconds slower. You went 30 seconds slower and you got 69th. You lost 68 spots in 30 seconds.
Expensive.
It's an expensive mistake. Not even a mistake.
Yeah.
That's fast. A 158 Diane is effing flying.
Yeah.
And you got 69th. All right. Oh, okay. Breathe, Chase. It's going to be okay. Workout 5. 12-minute AMRAP, 100 double unders, 25-foot dumbbell walking lunge, holding it in a farmer carry. 15 dumbbell shoulder to overhead, followed by a 25-foot dumbbell front rack walking lunge. 50s and 35, so 100 double unders, 25-foot farmer carry lunge, 15 shoulder overhead into a 15 front rack walking lunge, 12-minute AMRAP. Cycle through. We're bringing in the double unders. We've got dumbbells again that we had in workout 2, or workout 3, which is neither here nor there. I'm just saying we have dumbbells again. And then we have the shoulder overhead. Immediately when I saw this, my question was it one person doing all the programming, or did they pull from other groups together? Because we just doubled up the same movement pattern back-to-back tests.
Yep.
And that's the handstand push-ups and the dumbbell shouldered overhead.
Yep.
This is the first thing that just like slapped me in the face when I saw this workout.
Maybe they were assuming that the handstand push-ups were so negligible in that last event that this one was like, okay, no, now we'll test your shoulder. Yeah, that was your warm-up.
When you say the words negligible, you're like, why put those in?
Right. I understand that. Exactly. Because I looked at this and I'm like, okay, I just scratched the Diane kind of out of my brain, and I looked at this and I'm like, okay, well, if we're going to do the shoulders, keep the dumbbells overhead. Keep them overhead. Don't hang them down to the side. Like if you want to go into like front rack and overhead, if you're going to do that, and then your shoulder overhead and top, or just keep them overhead the whole time you're lunging.
Yeah.
Again, elite level athletes.
I like the volume of double unders.
I know you do. I actually like them too, and I don't even like double unders.
Okay, let me backtrack one time. I like this test a lot.
Yeah.
I'm taking workout 5 in a bubble with workout 5. Go get them. Fatigue in the grips and shoulders and legs. Now you go back to the grip fatigue and shoulders and legs, and then you go to the dry fatigue shoulders and like holding on to the dumbbell. Like there is a lot of attrition here.
Oh, yeah.
And I enjoy that. It's a qualifier, and it's easy to judge. It's easy to watch, and it's difficult to do because of the effort you need to put forward and do it. But why are we why did we go shoulder overhead after going shoulder to overhead or handstand push-ups? That's where I have the disconnection and issue, is that why did we do that?
Let me ask you if let's say workout 5 was at number 2 or number 1.
Okay.
Flip-flop 1 and 5.
Okay.
Would you have felt the same way or seen it the same way?
Nope. I would have been like...
I mean, you still have a week to do it.
Right. But
so
why
it's
are they
technically
together?
Not back-to-back.
Why we do... you know what? I would prefer if they flipped 1 and 5.
For the overall.
Or 1 and 4. Because we did this ascending ladder of weights that was supposed to be heavy, but nobody got to get to the heavy bar, and then we did the heavy lift.
Right.
And then we went right back. We went a 15-minute... Oh, I'll get there.
Okay, but well, let me ask the way you're saying. I think this is. I like this one. I like it. I think it's totally great. I think
Me
that.
too.
I mean, obviously, when we're looking at this is like they got 2 in the win column, 3 in the L column. But why does it change? I know you have an issue with where it is right now, but you have a week to do the first 3, a week to do these 2.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Like if it was a weekend,
No.
if it was over the course of a weekend, I could see if it was set up to where it was like.
Does it matter? No. Do the 45 handstand push-ups affect your performance in this? No.
Right.
Not at all.
But it's just kind of looking at like the overall, like
overall
come on, guys.
programming and yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I think it
Because as a programmer, you're right. As a programmer, like
Yeah.
it makes my brain kind of twitch.
Yeah.
And so I can see how that's what I was, as we're talking to everyone here and going over this kind of stuff, those are the things that, and I said that a lot about just the whole, the open qualifiers in the game season was it the same group that was programming? Because it feels like there's a disconnect. And you're right. This feels like there's a disconnect, especially when it's put in this particular position.
Right. $12 minutes on the clock for this.
I mean, they're getting 6+ rounds.
Right. 6+ rounds, you're in 600 double.
Right. So you're doing 6 minutes of double unders. I mean, these guys are doing they're doing 2 minutes a round.
Yeah. Well, let's see. This is the men. First place, Bruno Marins. Get off the screen. 804.
6 rounds and 54 double unders. I was playing with the math a little bit.
795, 784, 766, 763. Oh, man, that is so close for so many reps. If I'd only done 3 double unders. 750, 48, 48, 47, 47, 46, 46. That's the men. On the women for workout 5, scoot over there, excuse me. 835, 815, 808, 806, all the way down to the top 10. You get some more ties as you get lower.
Oh. You remember when I get the feel with this, as we're kind of starting to close it up here.
Yeah.
I get the feel that this is similar to when we used to qualify athletes from the open straight to the games. And how much of a ooh, are you really getting the right people if you do that?
Mm-hmm.
And, again, this isn't qualifying people to the games.
No.
They're the thing that Wodapalooza has done so well has made it be the festival of fitness and the community version. That's why when you go to that competition, it's so big. And if you can't go to the games, that's the one that you want to go to because of what it is. But on an athletic angle of that,
right,
the qualifier that you have, getting the right people to get to the games or the competition in Wodapalooza, what sort of athlete are you trying to get?
Mm-hmm.
Because what you got here was not any sort. You didn't get any powerful athletes. All you got your buzzsaws. That's what you got. You didn't get to go heavy enough on the first event. Nope. Diane didn't separate anybody. Okay, nope. maybe on the snatch.
Well, separated some people.
Right, yeah, totally.
Not in the ways at which you were trying to do.
Right. The walking lunges, not a problem. That's going to be. I think honestly that came down to who was best at the double unders, who had the capacity on the double unders, because you're going to have, I think, the most time. I don't think you can make up a lot of distance on lunges. I don't really think you can after a while. I mean, capacity, once you start getting tired, maybe a little bit, but I think mostly it's double unders. But I think that you basically design the athlete that's going to be qualifying to get to Wodapalooza. And knowing some of the things that they do in Wodapalooza, I don't know if these athletes would be able to compete with some of the if they're doing invites with those level of athletes that are going to be there to see where they really are at that point of the season.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. Which is unfortunate.
Julian, catching up on workout 3, would you like it more if they just flip the whole workout? Yeah. Dumbbell snatch into box jumps. Ooh.
Yeah.
Into pull-ups, into wall ball, into a row.
Yes.
It's amazing how much of a little change like that
changes
really
the entire workout.
Yeah. And finishing on the row too. Finish on 25 cals on the rower to try to qualify for Wodapalooza.
Could you imagine, dude? That's all you want.
After you had to do 50
all the
snatches,
Yep.
25 box jump overs, 25 unbroken chest to bar pull-ups because you didn't have a choice, 25 wall ball shots, whatever. But enough of just like go, and now you get to go.
Because think about it. If you're racing the dumbbell snatches, you can't race that. You can only go so fast on that, really. I mean, then it's a matter of how your range of motion and what you're trying to do with that. But I mean, basically, everyone's going to be going like a metronome. Mm-hmm. But the row, how bad do you want to go?
That first box jump after 50 dumbbell snatches,
dude.
Wex, what are your thoughts on a qualifier that looks like for the elite that they will have to bump people for inviting them in the big names?
I think like what they do with Rogue, they always kind of plan on I think if it was me, have whatever number that you're going to qualify for, knowing that you're going to invite X number. That way, if they all, you're not going to bump anybody out of the qualifier.
Right.
You know where your line is. If it's easier to backfill than it is to say, "Hey, you made it." Wait, no, you didn't, because someone decided at the very end. That's what I would do.
Yeah. All right. Top 10 at the end of the weekend. Well, we'll just talk 20. I'll start with the women. Emily Rethwill. Oh, sorry. She was ninth. First place. Elena Caratala. She actually did great in, was it the Madrid Championship recently? Mm-hmm. She takes first with 43 points. It's points per place, which is very important to know. Points per place. How many people signed up? Over a couple thousand? No. Yeah. 681. No, that's a tie there. Whoops. 700 plus? Holy crap. Look at all these people that signed up and didn't even do anything. I'm going to say it's like closer to 800, which is important because we'll get back to that. All right, points per place. So if you got 5th place, you got 5 points. If you got 25th place, you got 25 points. The total number of points and the lowest points is who's going to basically win this overall event. Grace Walton, Lexi Neely, Rebecca Fuselier gets 4th. Stacy Lerham. I mean, we got some semifinal. Freya Moosbrugger. She's been to the games before. Allison Weiss. 20th place, Nicolette Torngani. And then you go to your next 20, which is just the RX. Ellie Miller, or Aaliyah Miller. She was at semifinals. Becca Merritt. I don't know if I dated a girl in college named Merritt Beck.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. Samantha Pugh. And, I mean, I just scroll down the names.
Go to the men's side. Go to the men's side.
Latina Magalotti. I mean, didn't even qualify for RX. She's been to semifinals almost every year for the last several years. We go to the men. Austin Hatfield takes it. I believe he was at the West semifinal. He was in a position to qualify at one point.
Yeah, it was close.
Harry Lightfoot. I think he did okay at the, was he in Madrid or was it just the semifinal? CJ Gerald, Jack Rozema. Carone gets in there. Just some names I know. Victor Jungdahl is 20th. He always did great in open workouts. Because he's, like you said, a buzzsaw. Next 20 athletes in the RX division. Looking for someone to jump off the page. Yes, Royce Dunn. 39th. Gets 3rd on workout 1, 35th on workout 2, 20th on workout 3, 118th on workout 4, and 109th on workout 5. That'll do it. That'll do it. Now, am I saying the program you put him there? I think with those 2 finishes back to back, that looks like more of a Royce thing to me, to be honest. Like Royce Dunn is one of the stronger dudes in the field and is super fit. And okay, you might get ousted during Diane with all the micro machines, but not the last one.
I think that you're right. Royce is a strong athlete.
I don't know what happened to Royce there. I don't think it was just the workouts.
No, I don't think that it's 100% that, but I also think that there may have been an element of that. And when you have,
I think
when you have events that make it to where you can lose 60 points, 60 places very, very quickly within a handful of reps or a handful of seconds, that could be it. So when we talked about what type of athlete are you qualifying through, maybe that's what happened there. You know, I'm not saying solely, we don't know. I mean, I don't know if something happened to Royce when he was doing that, but like, you know, we talked about the buzzsaw. And here you are, you have an open qualifier that does really well. It gets into the top 20. You have a games athlete that barely squeaks into the top 40.
Right. In the RX division.
Yeah.
An interesting note is what we're putting at as
observation. It's observation.
For the men, the difference between 1st and 20th place is 173 points. That's placings. For the women, it was 143 between 1st and 3rd. Why is that important? Because in 30 seconds in one event, you could lose 60 points.
Yep.
Just because of the nature of the event itself.
Yeah.
Okay. End of the day, 5 tests. Workout 1, weightlifting and 2 gymnastics. It was 15 minutes long. Workout 3, high volume.
Right.
High volume, number of reps. Lightweight. We couldn't even get to the heavyweight. Workout 2, heavy day, complex. You got a snatch, weightlifting movement, hang snatch, weightlifting movement, and overhead squats, which is a weightlifting movement, and all 3 should be counted and credited. It's a heavy day. And then workout 3, you had monostructural row, weightlifting wall ball, gymnastics pull-ups, gymnastics box jumps, and weightlifting dumbbell. Lightweight, high volume, and that's moderate volume. 15, 20, 25, so 50 reps of each. That's actually not that bad at all. No, sorry. 15, 20. I did that. Did I do that wrong?
Wait, that plus the 5 events.
Oh, plus the 5, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like 250?
Yes. Sorry. So yeah, higher volume. My mistake there. Yeah, times 5. 14 to 16 minutes is the range, so 15-minute workout again in that time frame. A bit of a chipper style with rounds, so it's not really a chipper. It's just 4 rounds.
Right.
Next one is your sprint one with the deadlift and handstand push-ups, weightlifting, and gymnastics. And you had a 2-minute time frame, and actually, that's not right. It's like 90 seconds, minute 30 to minute 45. 2 minutes would have got you 100th place, so we probably can't count that. If you look at a top 10 time or top 20, it's a minute 30 to a minute 45 is the speed there. Lightweight, 225 and 155 for 45 reps at that speed is lightweight. It's not heavy, and it's not moderate.
Nope.
And gymnastics with that. And then in the last one, you had a 12-minute AMRAP, which had double unders. So you've got your monostructural element with the double unders. You have the lunges, the weightlifting with the farmer carries, shoulder to overhead, and then the front rack carries on the way back. So 1 monostructural, 3 weightlifting. It was high volume, but it was mostly because of the hundreds of double unders that they did. So
Right.
It's still 200 plus reps of the other things, I believe, when you had 800. Still high volume.
It is.
It's high volume. I'm trying to squeeze it. So 3 high volume tests of the 5, 1 heavy day, 1 sprint. The 3 high volume tests were all 12 to 15 minutes long. You had 10 weightlifting movements, 5 gymnastics movements, 2 monostructural movements. And at the end of the day, I think we were left wanting.
Yes.
Guy, nice way to put it. At the end of the day, this wasn't an elite programmed qualifier. How about that?
I think that's a completely fair response.
This programming did not filter for 20 people you're going to take from here to compete against the world's best on the competition floor.
No, I don't. You're right, and I don't think that it needed to be like the rogue qualifier where it's an invite. Like and then like we talked about, like that qualifier needed to be the most aggressive. It didn't need to be the most aggressive, but you had to know what you were trying to program for. I just think that it's funny. Again, man, like I love Wodapalooza with all my heart. I love that competition. I love everything about it. I love the fact that they lean into the community. I just think that whenever they are programmed, they need to have somebody pull the mind out of the community aspect and think, okay, we're trying to filter our elite and our RX people from the community. How do we do that?
Chose to enter this division. Right. Just because you signed up for this division does not mean I need to cater to you.
No, not at all. No. Like it should be.
Like, I can't do this. Why are you even here?
Right. It needs to be a higher level and not to be afraid to make it higher level. And if you want it to be that everyone is jumping in on that, then in the events that you're building, you need to make it to where all right, maybe everyone can do the first round, like the stupid 95 pounds for front squats. But if you're going to do that, you need to make it to where like the jumps become appropriate to the level of athlete that you expect to get in the mix, so that it stops your low-end RX athletes. And then your next RX athletes are able to get in here, but your elite level athletes are getting up to that next stage. You almost, if you want to make it where it's all community, then you have to think about that on all of the events that you're putting together to where you are filtering appropriately every single time. Or at least at the end, that of all of the ones you put together, that it's set up that way. And I think that they just missed that here. I'll give them 2 events out of the 5. Like, great job on the lifting. I'll take that. Great job on the 15, 20, 25. I like that one.
I'll give them 3.
Are you going to do the jump? The jump rope one is okay.
I see no problem with that. It isn't going to break anybody off.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give him. All right.
Yeah, I'll give him 3 out of 5.
What if they just had those 3 events only?
No. No.
Well, they did basically.
Well, true.
I mean, that's what they had.
Well, okay, the first one was gross. Like that was just
way off.
Right?
Way off.
I don't mean way off, but like that first one sucked. Like if you did that one, it was rough.
Oh yeah. Well,
right? Like it was
hard doesn't mean good.
Exactly. Right? But it wasn't a blow off like Diane was.
Right.
Right? Like if you were elite, like, damn, this sucks and I can't even get to the last bar yet.
Right.
I had to do all this work to get to the.
Yeah. I think that was a miss.
I did like the snatch. I like the complex. I like the tiebreaker. I like the rounds increasing, chipper rounds. I like that. I like that it increased too, which added a level of complexity and difficulty for those that didn't have the work capacity and ability to recover, which is a part of something. And I like the last one. It's simple. Maybe a touch too long. Like if you're getting 600 plus double unders, like it's
a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's now a double under workout.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay. I think the big
you gotta know who you're testing for.
That's exactly where I was going. If this were the intermediate division, you freaking nailed it. If this was the leaderboard, and I let me see. Masters men, Masters. Which more do we have? Elite RX Intermediate Team Male. I'm trying to find this. Or the whatever open division. If it were that, then I would say you got it. Right? I don't know.
Okay, well, you just gave them. I mean, you gave them 3 out of 5 events.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna.
Does the open division filter into their other divisions? I guess it does. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna start pushing. Well, one, because I got to go coach my class.
Yep, sorry.
I got to go. I'm gonna work my way into the Element 26 thumb review.
Get it.
I'll give them 3 out of the 5 events.
Okay.
I feel that those 3 events were not necessarily thought about together as a group, unified, to make sure that you're pushing the right people to the Wodapalooza on the floor at the elite division. I feel that they missed qualifying the right people there, even though those were 3 good events. I feel that they lean too much into community and forget the main element of what they're trying to do, which is you have a high-level, high-paying competition where you're trying to get big names that people are going to pay big money to go see now on the big stages. You want to have the right people there. Those things have to become priority in your programming. Forget cuteness. Whatever. You want to make sure that you can judge appropriately on movements, that you're testing appropriate abilities and strengths and levels. And I think that, like, you're right. If that was the intermediate, they did it right. Because of the 3 events that they had, even though I would have fumbled with the one a little bit with the demos, because there was no heavy other than one lift. There was nothing heavy on here at all.
Right.
Which is, I'll go 0.75.
Yeah. Would you like it if these were open tests or open workouts?
I would like them better, but I still think that they would be missing qualifying top 10% because there's no weight. Other than one event,
the Diane thing in the open is even more of a disaster.
Jeez, oh man, terrible. I would have made it to where, like, the front squats were actually a building weight, because even as an open division, as an open event, it would have bumped it. You would have had people dropping off at the appropriate times in the appropriate positions as they are, based on their elitist or novice or RX-ish, all of that.
Yeah.
I'm giving my score solely on those 3 events in a bubble.
Okay. I think if you change the weight structure in workout 1, you change the deadlift weight and handstand push-up skill in workout 4, and I would be putting this up in a 1-5 category. Mission accomplished. That's how close we were.
Yeah.
Which I think is more frustrating because it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's where most of my frustration comes from, because, like, oh, we're so close. How did we miss?
Yeah.
3 out of 5 percentage wise, I was thinking 0.75. I'll go 3 out of 5 as an actual percentage, which is actually just 60%. And I'm going to give it a 0.6 because you did the same thing last year and we did not improve on this year. So I'll go below. Damn it.
That does not mean that I don't like Wodapalooza.
I know.
Fucking love you guys.
Which is why I'm frustrated.
But here's one of the
a weight choice, and a skill, and it's all good.
Like, it would have been so good.
Just make all the weights in the first one the same weight. Make it 155 and 105. Go. It doesn't have to be heavy, but it gets heavy quick.
Yeah.
And then just 275, 185 for the women, and strict handstand push-ups or wall facing. And you're done. You got a heavy lift. You have a heavy fast test. 3 grinders in the middle that cover a lot of different bases, and you're good. You're good to go. That's how close it was. And yet, we did not do it.
Bring us in next time.
All right.
Just bring us in next time.
Bring us in next time.
Space Wolves.
Space Wolves. Hey, guys.
I got to go.
See you tomorrow talking about Dave and Boz.com coming at you.